to his servant, go up now and look toward the sea. And when he went up and looked, he said, there's nothing. He said, go again. 7 times. And it came to pass, Tiffany, it came to pass the 7th time that he said, behold, there arises a little cloud out of the sea like a man's hand. And he said, go up, say to Ahab, prepare thy chariot, get thee down, that the rain don't stop you. And it came to pass that in the meanwhile, that the heavens were black with clouds and wind, and there was a great rain. And Ahab rose and went to Jezreel. The Bible says that Elijah outran the chariots. For a simple thought this morning, I want to deal with just for about 3.5 minutes when God gives you a hand. When God gives us a hand. Y'all take your seats. I feel like hollering. I'm going to try to keep a little bit of voice for later. I'll talk about last night in a minute. But let me see if I can work this for just about 3 good minutes, Stacy. Okay, about to turn to this. About 3 good minutes, and I'm going to the house. All right. The Bible says that now Israel had been wavering between other gods. God sends Elijah to make a declaration. Either you for God or you ain't for God. I have to pause to tell you that most of y'all right now haven't made your decision. There's about to be a showdown in your town. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, there's going to come a point where you're going to either believe what everybody else has said or you're going to believe what God has said. This is about to be a showdown. It is time for you to either put up or shut up. I can't hear nobody. So here's what I need you to understand. There is something to be said about a people who will see what God does but believe everybody else. I can't hear nobody. There's something about a people who see God but believe you. Okay. So as a result, there's about to be a showdown. The Bible says Elijah goes on Mount Carmel, and he says, bring all of the prophets of Baal. And now all of them come up there. They all come. Y'all heard about this story before. They build the altars, and they put the sacrifices on the altars. God comes down, licks up even the water, destroys the sacrifice. The Bible says that by the time God was finished, there wasn't even dust. The Bible says that the fire consumed the dust. Right. And the time to work with that. So the Bible says that Elijah tells them, listen, he says, I'm going to tell my servant to go, and I want you to go and look out there. Tell me what you see. Now, understand something. Elijah puts himself in the position where he takes his head, puts it in between his knees, and begins to pray to God. The Bible says that he doesn't stop his prayer. He just sends people to keep looking. Time to work with that. So because the truth of the matter is, many of us in this room, you don't understand that your pastor is supposed to be in prayer, and if I'm running around here having to do everything, y'all not talking back to me. The problem with a lot of us, and the reason we don't see any clouds, is because pastor's too busy and I can't get in prayer.
All right.
Here's what I need you to understand. That there's a paradigm shift happening at the vineyard, because the paradigm shift that is happening is the fact that many of us have gotten so spoiled. We've gotten used to being served, but it's time for servitude to actually show up. If you're going to be on the praise team, be on the praise team, be there. I don't want no more excuses. I can't get nobody here to help me. If you're going to be a minister, guess what? There is a criteria for holding on to the collar. I can't get nobody nobody here to help me. You ain't going to just wear the collar and not do what is required of you to do. I can't get nobody here to help me. You cannot your position and not be in position.
All right.
Amen.
Care about you being mad at me. There's souls. There are souls. There's souls, thousands, millions of souls at stake, and your feelings are not going to stop these souls.
All right. Amen. Amen.
So, while you get your chip off your shoulder, even right now, because I feel some of you looking at me with your little, I don't care about you. Because if you leave with an attitude, you'll come back with some humbleness.
All right.
Don't worry about that. Yeah, you'll leave for a moment. I'll see you soon. Worry about people leaving. Matter of fact, if you leave with your attitude, that means I ain't got to deal with it, and God's going to check you while you go. I ain't stressing over you leave. If I leave you, I'm going to attack. No, you ain't. You ain't. You ain't. So I ain't worried about that either. The Bible says that you got to make a decision. Is it going to be God?
Right.
Or is it going to be your job? Right. Are you going to be more faithful to Him? Or are you going to be more faithful to your job?
All right.
And if you're more faithful to your job,
Well, accept.
I see why you got the highest tier of insurance. I see why your insurance is. Let me keep going, because I need you to understand. At the first message in our building for this calendar year, because our new year started when? In October. Okay. Did y'all get you? Okay. They ain't ready for that yet. So as a result, the Bible says that Elijah takes his head, puts it in between his knees, and he says, now listen, when you see, and I don't have time to deal with the fact of whether or not it was the size of a man's hand, or the form of a man's hand, or the shape. I ain't got time to deal with that, because I could deal with it from 3 different perspectives. Whether it was something, but it was significant because it was something so small that it should not have been, watch this, significant enough to see. But that small thing produced, the Bible says, so much rain that it would have stopped your travel. Okay, here it is. Here it is. This is the point God wanted me to make with this whole message. This is the point God wanted me to make with this whole message. Are you ready? He said, I'm going to give you a hand to those who are willing to move. Watch the text. I saw the hand and I started moving. I saw the hand, and here's the point. They didn't move up the mountain, they moved into the valley. The Bible says they went down to Jezreel.
Yes.
Lord have mercy. I need y'all to look at the book. They went down where what God was sending, they could collect all of it. Y'all not talking to me. All I'm trying to tell you is that this is the time where what God is about to send, you got to get in the right position, even if you're on a high horse.
All right. Thank you.
Wish I had about 3 of y'all. All it takes is 3. Here is what I'm trying to tell about 3 of you who are willing to accept it. You don't go to a valley with a tsunami on the way.
Come on, that's right. That's right. Oh my goodness. Woo. Catch it.
You don't go to a valley with a torrential hurricane on the way. You go to a mountain, watch this, to escape the effects of what's about to happen. This is funny to me because Elijah says, tell him to get down.
Yes.
And Jay, Antoinette, the reason I've kept y'all in prayer for so long, you like Pastor, every time praying now, is because if you don't understand that you can't get up until you get down.
All right. Amen. That's right. That's right.
My job is to tell you, as the prophet of the house, get down.
That's right.
Listen, he says get down before you can.
Yes, Lord.
Jesus.
Go back to the scripture. Let me show you. Oh God, I'm done. He says get down so that you, before you can.
Exactly.
Let me say this out loud.
Come on.
Let me say this out loud. If you're so self-centered that every time you get down, you're praying about you,
Uh-oh. There it is. All right. All right. Great.
then your get down will get you drowned.
All right.
God is giving us a hand. I'm finished. I'm done. I'm finished. All I'm trying to tell you is that this is the season where God is giving us a hand. And he's going to make what we didn't even realize that pain was connected to his promise. He's going to show us what that really means. I'm stuck right there. The moment he said it, I got stuck. He said, son, I'm going to make my promise and your pain make sense. I'm going to make them connect. I've been stuck there ever since. If you need God to give you, want God to give you a hand, would you just lift your hands and tell God, give it to me. Lord, give it to me, give it to me.
Yes, God.
God, give it to me.
Yes, Lord. Hallelujah.
God, give it to me.
Yes, yes, yes.
God, give it to me. God, give it to me. Thank you, Father.
Hallelujah.
Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father.
Yes, God.
Thank you,
Yes,
Lord.
God.
We're about to go into communion. Hear me good. I was on my way here, and I said, God, how do you want me to do and explain to them what's going on with this? You've been doing communion forever. You've been doing communion forever. And it's become so ritualistic that we miss what's necessary and the intent of it. And Dana, God took me to Popeye. Took me to Popeye. Y'all know who Popeye is, right? I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Y'all know who Popeye is, right? Popeye the Sailor Man, watch this, in himself wasn't that strong. It was when he ingested something known as spinach. Okay. But it wasn't fresh spinach. It was canned spinach. was, watch this, processed and packaged and delivered. As it was processed, packaged, and delivered, every single time he would get into a struggle, some way, somehow, he would find a can of spinach. And with his strength, he'd open it to gain a strength he didn't have on his own. Watch this. What you don't realize is that in order for that spinach to get in the can, it had to be chopped down. It had to be cut up. It had to be processed. Talk back to me, I said. Watch this. And packaged. Jesus was packaged inside of this. And we started squeezing to get the contents out of him that we needed. I can't hear nobody. How many of you know you need what God has inside of you? Okay. The reason we do communion is because I need what he has inside of his process inside of me. And so what happens is I use my ability to get to his ability. Did y'all hear what I just said?
Yes, sir.
I use my ability, my worship, my praise, my adoration, my life to get to his ability. Did y'all hear me? So God said, tell them that when they ingest this, it's going to give them a strength they didn't have on their own. Did y'all hear what I just said? It's going to give them a strength that they didn't have on their own. And so